playing the RPG problems, I feel bad for you, son. Problems, but D4 ain't one.
Hey guys, how's it going? In my house again. All right. You didn't hear me in there, did you? Anything I said about D4? Diablo 4 is a great game. Well, I guess the cat's out of the bag. I'm gonna go ahead and talk some shit. See, back in my day, you used to be able to rely on your ARPG of choice. Well, there were basically only two options to consider, and one of those really stood no chance. But that's besides the point. We spent countless hours leveling, PKing, boss farming, and slaying hundreds of 10-foot, two-legged bovines wielding giant halberds that said, "Moo." Yeah. It was a good time, wasn't it? Anybody remember Baja Cows? And of course, we're talking about the RPG legend itself, Diablo 2. What was it about Diablo 2 that kept us coming back again and again over the last 25 years? Was it just nostalgia, or was it the lightning in the bottle that Blizzard North managed to catch? How did it seem to have this endless replayability? MF boss runs on repeat, or the search for that elusive rare item that you could just never quite find? I mean, we had it good. Perhaps a little too good. I remember thinking as a kid, man, if this is what we got right now, just imagine what's in store for us. What's on the horizon in 20 years from now? We are just going to get banger after banger in the ARPG genre. I mean, the sky is the limit. Or so we thought. Are you a 30 to 40-year-old grown-ass man out there right now just feeling lost? Feeling hopeless? What game should you be playing next? Or worse, if you even enjoy gaming anymore at all? Are your gaming days feeling numbered? Are they just not hitting the same as they used to? And whose fault is it? The person that's making the game or the person that's playing it? Maybe it's a little bit of both. So why don't we sit back and unravel this mystery together, pal? Players have been voicing their frustrations and just feeling flat out lost on what there is to actually play out there right now. Some say we're going through a gaming drought.
Let's just be honest, there's nothing new out there. I can go to any of the platforms and see the top games being streamed. There ain't nothing new!
Others mention that every single game coming out right now feels like an unfinished early access cash grab with absolutely no soul. Wasting your valuable 30 minutes of playtime before bed. Because you gotta go to work in the morning, bud.
Coming to bed, honey? Yes, dear.
But when you delve deeper into the gaming world, you'll find yourself in the land of ARPGs, action role-playing game. And in the world of ARPGs, an entire rich ecosystem awaits you, filled with people just hating their lives and the games that they're playing. Obviously, that's not every single game and not every single person, okay? There's a lot of people that are enjoying their ARPG of choice, and we're gonna get to that later in the video, okay? Now listen, we're halfway through 2025, and the RPG genre is in one of the weirdest places that it's ever been, in my opinion. The franchise titans are stumbling, the indies are rising, and the players, torn between the fray, hopping from game to game, stuck on forums and Reddit posts just constantly contradicting themselves about how unhappy they are with just about anything and everything. Too much loot, not enough loot, leveling is way too easy. What is this, Diablo 4? The leveling is just way too hard. If I wanted a PhD in RPGs, I would have just played Path of Exile. I hate crafting. No, I love crafting. Players are going absolutely nuts, and what can we actually do about it? Nothing. So why don't we go ahead and take a look at our options in the ARPG genre? Path of Exile 1, Path of Exile 2, Last Epoch, Diablo 4, Diablo 3, Diablo 2, Grim Dawn, No Rest for the Wicked, and I'll even throw in Torchlight. Now listen, there are players out there right now enjoying any one of these games that I mentioned. Maybe it's you, maybe you're playing Grim Dawn right now, Torchlight, V-Rising, Path of Exile 1, 2, whatever. And on the surface, it seems like we have a lot of games to choose from, and technically we do, especially when comparing to prior years. But some of these are up to 25 years old now. They aren't live service games or aren't really receiving much of any updates at all. Now we do have a big month ahead of us this upcoming August that I think we're all looking forward to, and I'll get to that later in the video. But when you look at this list, I feel like there's only 3 games at the moment that are really being taken seriously within the ARPG community. Right now, people are either playing Path of Exile 2, Last Epoch, or hell, there are even dozens of people playing Diablo 4 Season 9 right now. And look, I'm not talking to the people that are having a good time right now, okay? Good for you. I'm talking to my 9-to-5ers who are going to work day in and day out, putting in work, putting in hours, right? And all you want to do is you want to come home, play your little game, turn on your little Diablo 4, maybe pop open a couple brewskis with the boys perhaps, and just relax. Instead, what happens? You got your wife Vicky barking down your back, don't you? Nagging again, talking about the kids been acting up while you've been away at work all day, slaving away. You better buckle up, bud, because summer break just started and you got those kids for a couple months, okay? And while you're in Diablo 4 Vessel of Borrowed Powers trying to find where the f Diablo is even at, all you gotta do is take off your headphones and you'll hear Diablo yelling at you from the living room telling you to turn off your stupid little game. Listen, man, I worry about you, okay? We love you over here, man. Why don't you just put down the controller? I mean, you only get 30 minutes a night anyway, right? Is it worth it? Why don't you go ahead and get some sleep and go raise that family? Diablo 4, Vessel of Disappointment. Ah yes, what can I say about good old Diablo 4?
In a world where every season is exactly the same as the last, only this time it's not vampires, witches, or Belial you're borrowing from. Oh no. Now there's the sin of the Haradrim, borrowed powers from Deckard's old notes or some shit. And another thing while we're here, where the fuck is Diablo?
Season 9 Sins of the Haradrim launched with lukewarm hopes, and the results? Same game, different powers. Listen, an overwhelming portion of the community is pretty much done with Diablo 4. I don't even think the vast majority of people that initially were interested in Diablo 4 even tried Season 8 or 9. Those that did give Season 9 a chance pretty much called it a drag. I mean, just take a look at what our beloved blue-hoodied goblin had to say about Diablo 4.
I woke up this morning and had every intention of playing Diablo 4 Season 9. I've never missed a Diablo 4 start before. And as I was sitting there ready to firing up, thinking about it, I realized that I found myself actually being pretty sad. Some of your biggest fans don't see the original Diablo franchise, the essence of it, in this game. I'm not seeing it. But it seems like the shift has been a huge marketing push for money. And it seems like it's been at the expense of the essence of Diablo 4. I don't think I'm going to log into Diablo 4 Season 9. I don't really want to play. It's nothing I'm looking forward to playing. And I'm making this video because I care.
If Rax puts out a video like that, it ain't looking good. The progression feels off, the rewards feel lackluster, and that magical just one more run feeling that we get in ARPGs, it's missing. Blizzard introduced the new spellcraft system, giving players access to customizable ultimate abilities that can be used and tailored to their class's playstyle. But the best thing to come in Season 9 isn't just the additional workload needed to just obtain one single individual borrowed power. Oh no. The change celebrated the most? A basic quality of life feature in the wardrobe. Hey, everybody knows you gotta be dripped out when you're slaying demons.
Gee willikers, Batman. Is that drip?
Now you can hold down an item and equip its entire set with one click, which is pretty awesome. But even that comes with a dark twist. Because see, now the wardrobe also shows your broke ass all the outfits that you don't own, essentially turning your character screen into an additional storefront advertisement. Nothing says immersion like getting upsold during a demon invasion, am I right? Listen, when your biggest quality of life improvement doubles as a monetization scheme, you've pretty much lost the plot entirely. You ever notice how Blizzard never slips on adding just the most insanely sick skins you've ever seen? Yeah, so look, the fundamental issues at Blizzard remain. They keep trying to add band-aid fixes to a game that needs major surgery while also simultaneously pushing microtransactions. The core problems also persist. The boss fights feel lackluster, loot variety feels still overwhelming, PvE loops that feel like a chore more than an adventure, and by Season 9 you'd think that the development team would have found a way to listen to the feedback.
We see feedback all the time. That's the feedback on Nightmare Dungeons. Extraordinarily negative feedback, give us feedback. The point on feedback, internal feedback, give us feedback. The PTR feedback, it is feedback.
A lot of trust seems to be lost at this point between the player base and the Diablo 4 dev team, and unfortunately the Diablo 4 dev team continues to put out nothing of major intrigue or genuine innovation to win back the hearts of the ARPG community.
Dan Tangway is going to walk us through everything coming with this season and tell us what the Haradrim have been up to and why are we dealing with their past choices.
Yeah, let's do that. This graphic be pretty familiar to a lot of you, but that's going to cover all of what Season 9 contains, and it is...
I'd say it's safe to say at this point, until they really flip the game on its head, Diablo 4 is going to continue to decline at this point. Oh, hey, but they do have a Diablo 4 cookbook, though. Maybe you go pick up a copy for Vic. Cook for the kid this summer, you know what I'm saying? Lorath's shepherd pie or some shit. Path of Exile 2, the early access king that's losing its crown. All right, it's a little dramatic. Path of Exile 2 exploded onto the scene back in December 2024 with 1 million pre-orders and nearly 580,000 concurrent players at launch. The hype was real, man. I was playing Path of Exile 2 myself. My friends were playing it. I really enjoyed my time in my first playthrough. But fast forward to July 2025, if you go to the Steam store page for Path of Exile 2, you'll see that they're currently sitting on a 30-day Steam rating of mixed, with 55 of the responses being positive. I would say that this decline started around the Dawn of the Hunt update. That's where you really started to see people kind of upset and not feeling PoE 2. A lot of players were feeling very weak through the leveling and campaign process. The game just felt really slow and sluggish. Maps were absurdly large and tedious to traverse through. All of the defenses that you would build up felt ineffective, and your attacks basically felt like you were hitting with a wet pool noodle, so it was not feeling good. But ultimately, the player base felt like this was more of like a tinkering than really addressing the main concerns that were bothering players. Also, something that was cool too in the Grinding Gear games is pretty stand up. I mean, they really try their best to communicate with the player base. GGG did admit that they've learned from their mistakes of feature locking Dawn of the Hunt, and they're now aiming for 4-month cycles, refining content over chasing hype. Now, with all that being said, Path of Exile 2 officially enters public early access on August 29th, which might come with a new trade system, a fresh act, maybe even another character class. And yeah, that does mean there's likely going to be a full server wipe coming your way, so just be prepared for that. And just to clarify on what I mean by early access, the game's obviously already been out in early access since December 2024, but that was only for those who shelled out money for a supporter pack. Now the game is officially going to be launching in its early access state for everyone to try, completely free. And one other bit of exciting news, and something I've been looking forward to for a very long time, which is the Path of Exile 2 update for the new trade system, something fans have been long requesting. Hopefully they do justice with the trade system coming soon, which I believe will be out around August 29th. Well, listen, man, at the end of the day, with Path of Exile, the unwavering diehard fan base that is the Path of Exile community,
We're not worthy! We're not worthy! We're not worthy!
they are never going to let PoE and Grinding Gear games sink completely. If they don't have PoE 2 to their disposal, then they will definitely always run back to Path of Exile 1. And I mean, dude, even me, I'm considering giving it a try. I haven't played since 2013, but it looks good. PoE 2 is really not feeling like my jam at the moment, so maybe I'll give it a shot. We'll see. Speaking of Path of Exile 1, it's still there, just chilling, old reliable. Secrets of Atlas is the new update for Path of Exile, and it looks like people are having a blast. Like I said, old reliable. Still getting updates, still maintaining its reliable player base, and still letting you explode entire screens with carefully min-maxed builds. Even though I haven't played Path of Exile 1 in quite a while, I imagine it's pretty much like a warm blanket coming over you, you know? Just familiar, responsive, and most importantly, still fun. Now, we do have an update for Path of Exile 1, which is the July 31st Gauntlet event. This is a high-stakes community-run competition where players will be playing hardcore solo self-found with no trading and one life. Though full details aren't released yet, the past versions of Gauntlets have added things like damage, speed, and resistance penetrating enemies. The Gauntlet will include prizes like cosmetics and microtransactions, even for low-level participation, and the cosmetics will be usable in both Path of Exile 1 and 2. Last Epoch, the indie that could, and maybe still can. 11th Hour Games continues to make their quiet ascent with Last Epoch. The Tombs of the Erased update from earlier this year was received fairly well, and now they're hyping up their new season, Season 3, Beneath Ancient Skies, out August 21st. And the community response has been absolutely positive, I'd say. You know, 11th Hour Games' approach, it seems to be completely opposite from their competitors, which is Diablo 4 and Path of Exile 2. They're not promising any crazy innovation or revolution here, but they are promising thoughtful, steady evolution of their game. Their 5 classes and 15 masteries offer genuine build diversity without artificial complexity. There's no massive seasonal swings, there's no trying to capture lightning in a bottle again, it's just slow, honest, consistent development that respects the player's time and feedback. However, this is kind of where the gripe comes in for a lot of people. It doesn't seem like the seasons are able to maintain the player base or the attention of the player base long enough. Now listen, I can't speak for everybody obviously, but for myself, my friends, people that I saw online and streamers, it seemed like most people jumped ship from Last Epoch Season 2, Tombs of the Erased, about 3 days in. Certainly by like a week and a half, most people cleared out the whole Weaver and Monolith situation and it was a done deal. And I think that's the main gripe for people and players of Last Epoch is just keep us engaged a little bit longer. The attention span doesn't last, and people want more, right? Obviously. I know that their design philosophy is to, you know, come enjoy our game, enjoy the season. When you're finished, jump ship and go play another game and come back when we have the next one. But I feel like with the season lasting as long as they do, we should get a little bit more than a week. That's my personal opinion. Now, Last Epoch is sitting at about 2,200 concurrent players with a Steam review of mostly positive, which obviously is a lot better than mixed. But with 2,200 concurrent players, obviously they're sitting fairly low against comparing to their competitors like Diablo 4 and Path of Exile 2. But look, I guess that's kind of the point of seasonal games, right? You log in, you play the content, you finish it up, and you dip out until the next season.
See, nobody cares.
The next season drops August 21st. I'm sure we're going to see a lot of players playing that and giving it a shot. I know I'll be there. Who doesn't like dinosaurs, right?
Now eventually you do plan to have dinosaurs on your dinosaur tour, right? Hello?
All right, listen, let's take a second to salute some honorable mentions here, huh? We got some old dogs still barking. Borderline archaic, depending on which game you're choosing. Diablo 2. All right, yeah, I said it. Big surprise. Look at my channel. I'm stuck in the past, baby. Don't you fucking judge me, all right? We all been back there before, okay? Don't act like you never went home to get a little something, a little late night snack, something familiar, okay? You knew it wasn't gonna be life-changing, but it hit the spot. Boot up Diablo 2, hear the rogue encampment theme kick in, man, and then you hear War of just say, "Good day." And suddenly you're back. 17 years old with Doritos on your shirt, a neckbeard in full bloom, and thinking, just one more Mephisto run at 3 a.m. It's that old flame you know you shouldn't be texting. She certainly don't look like she used to, and she definitely moves a little bit slower, but damn it, when that soundtrack comes on, baby, woo! You know why you fell in love in the first place, you know what I'm saying? Now, Diablo 2 is definitely kept alive by nostalgia and an amazing community that just really loves the game. And whether you're on the official servers or just playing solo self-found, hardcore, or maybe even Project Diablo 2, I feel like this game at least has another 70 years to go before it officially dies out. I mean, people are always gonna wanna play this game. I'm gonna be in a nursing home and wanna go back to Diablo 2. I already know. You know who else makes this list? Grim Dawn. What a solid game, huh? If you've ever played Grim Dawn, then you know what's up, dude. This is an old school ARPG at this point, and it's just something that works. There's no seasons, there's no live service nonsense, there's no premium battle passes or currencies. It's literally just the game. You buy the complete game, and they respect your time. It doesn't try to sell you a digital cosmetic pet for 30 bucks. I can literally go walk down the street right now to the animal shelter and adopt a German Shepherd for 50 bucks. Are you kidding me? $30 for a digital pet? I could have that German Shepherd. Should I go do that? Should I just have him sit here with me while I record these videos? Live, big-ass live animal. Now, as far as Grim Dawn news goes, Crate Entertainment shared a major development update back on June 20th for Fangs of Asterkarn. This is Grim Dawn's highly anticipated third and possibly final expansion. The studio addressed community frustrations about the long wait, pointing out that this is their largest expansion ever, and that it was announced unusually early in order to keep the community engaged during Grim Dawn's maintenance period. Since the announcement, Crates expanded the team and resumed large-scale updates to make this content possible. Fangs of Asterkarn takes players to the snowy wilds of Asterkarn, introducing a new quest hub called Kern Hold that spans 4 distinct zones. The expansion's world will cover around 3.55 square kilometers, making it about 110% the size of the Ashes of Malmouth expansion. Players can look forward to nearly 50 quests, 54 new bosses, over 380 new unique items, and 2 additional roguelike dungeons that are planned for post-release updates, each bringing their own new bosses and loot. The Crate devs admit that they were overly ambitious, originally targeting a 2024 launch. They now estimate a late fall or winter release for 2025, but they aren't ruling out a delay into spring or even summer 2026 if more time is needed to polish the game. They emphasize that their team is still deep in implementation and committed to delivering the quality and detail fans expect for a Grim Dawn expansion. So if you've been meaning to jump back into Cairn, look out, because Fangs of Asterkarn is on the way, which is going to be their biggest update yet. You just have to have a little extra patience as the team pushes the boundaries of that old classic Grim Dawn engine. There's also No Rest for the Wicked. Now, this game in particular, I've been very interested in for some time. In a recent Town Portal podcast with Aaron from Action RPG and his co-host Frosty LaRue, they sat with Thomas Mahler, who shared the vision behind No Rest for the Wicked, positioning it as an innovative, expanded RPG with a Souls-like foundation that prioritizes skill-based, intentional gameplay over stat-heavy mechanics. Unlike mainstream ARPGs like Diablo 4, Path of Exile, which Mahler critiques as explosion simulators, Wicked aims for deliberate combat, genre-blending systems, and meaningful player choice. The game's flexible and extensible design allows rapid development of new modes and features, enabling long-term innovation. In the podcast, Mahler mentions that he draws inspiration from classic titles like Zelda and Diablo 2, as well as modern indie successes, and expresses skepticism about the creative limitations of large AAA studios. Overall, No Rest for the Wicked is described as a visually distinct, genre-defining action RPG that seeks to restore depth, challenge, and craftsmanship to the genre, driven by a small team with creative autonomy. But even with their early access state and recent release with the Breach update, it seems like they've got quite a ways to go. You can watch some different streamers and YouTubers talk about the current state of No Rest for the Wicked. It's just got some more time that needs to cook inside the pot, basically. But from what the game is showing, it looks very promising. People are having a fantastic time, and they can't wait for that game to be out of early access. It's got potential, just like every game these days. But hey, speaking of official launch, we do have Titan Quest 2 incoming, and I'm pretty excited about that. They're saying that it's supposed to release this year, 2025, sometime in the summer, so that's pretty much in the next couple of months. I don't know if you guys remember Titan Quest, but it was a pretty damn good game when it came out back in the day. Greek mythology, decent combat, and dual-class systems that actually make sense. Will the Greek gods of Titan Quest 2 come down and save us all? Probably not. The way things have been going lately, it's probably going to be Hades on the other side waiting for us. I am looking forward to another ARPG entering into the arena to shake things up a little bit, hopefully, right? So, Titan Quest 2, please be good. So where does that leave us ARPG fans in 2025? Well, at the beginning, really. At the beginning of this video, I asked if your gaming days were numbered, if the problems were the games and the creators, or if the problem was us. And after all this, honestly, I still feel like it's both. It seems like we're constantly in this like weird ass limbo where we're waiting for the next big thing that just ends up leaving us in disappointment. And listen, now, obviously not all of us, okay? To be fair, like for example, I really enjoyed my first Diablo 4 playthrough. I had a great experience. I was even calling up my wife, like sending her screenshots, enamored with the detail that was in that game. I enjoyed the story and the campaign. But when I got to the end, I was quickly disappointed. And then when Vessels of Hatred came out, I was even further disappointed. And I realized that Diablo's not even in a fucking Diablo game. But if you're having fun with any of these games, by all means, keep having fun. Who am I to spoil and rotten that for you? But it seems like once we go through the honeymoon phase of these new games, we end up crawling back to games that are now either old enough to drink, made by 12 guys in a garage, or trying to sell you cosmetics while we're on the verge of World War III. The games we loved knew what the f they were, man. They weren't trying to be everything to everyone. They weren't designed by some committee. They weren't built around retention metrics and quarterly updates. They were just games, good games. Games that respected the player's intelligence and time. And maybe that's the real treasure here, man, is just the fact that we had access to games that were made by people who actually played games. Not shareholders, not marketing teams trying to maximize player engagement with microtransaction sales. These were just normal dudes who were just like, wouldn't it be cool if we could just blow up this entire screen of monsters and let's create this game so other people can play it. Of course, you're gonna make money, but the idea came first that you were a gamer for the gamer. But hey, listen, that doesn't mean that we stop looking, okay? Because deep down, we're still chasing that feeling. That one game that can bring everything back. Maybe the next game is around the corner, a solid game that we can all stand behind and just feel good about again, right? Maybe it's out there. Maybe it's a possibility. Or maybe we just log into Diablo 2 again. I don't know. Path of Exile 1. Anyways, man, that's going to be the video for your boy Young Waddock. Please, man, let me know what you guys are playing at the moment. I'm very curious. What ARPG is your favorite at the moment? What are you playing? Or are you not playing anything? Drop a comment below and just let me know your thoughts. And whether the feedback that you guys give me is positive or negative, it just helps me better understand what kind of content you guys enjoy and how I can improve things on my channel. So I genuinely appreciate it. Anyways, man, thanks for watching, bud. I'll see you guys in the next one. Hey, you better get over to Vicky. I've got my own Vicky that I gotta get to. It's getting pretty late. It's 2 a.m. right now, dude. All right, man. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.